Okay. Helen asks 8 questions. And thank you, Helen. You're wonderful. I looked at your bio. You're a rock star, and I'd love to get to know you better and talk to you in more detail. These are the 8 most frequently asked questions I get. And I have answered these questions before on previous teleseminars like this, and I've posted many of those answers on my YouTube channel, which is called Write Your Book in a Flash. So I want to respect you, and I'll give you short answers to your 8 questions. But if you want longer answers, I would suggest you go to YouTube, go to Write Your Book in a Flash. That's my channel. You will see the answers to these 8 questions and probably 3 dozen others that you would be interested in as well. And I just want to make very good use of our time here today. So with that, and again, Helen, please do send me an email. I'd love to chat with you further. I'm really interested in knowing what you want to do in the world of PR. So that's really cool. Okay, number 1, I have books within me to write. How do I begin to get them out on paper? Well, sit down and start writing. The very simple answer, I went to your blog. I see that you are disciplined. I see that you write every night. You are doing what you need to do. Just keep on doing it, and eventually you'll have enough words for a book. How long should a book be? You ask, what are the advantages of a short book or a little book? Well, the advantages of a short book are that people will read it more likely. No one wants to read a 300-page book today or a 70,000-word book. That's nonfiction. Fiction books, no problem. People read Game of Thrones, 1,000 pages, Harry Potter, 8, 10, 12 volumes, no problem. But when it comes to a nonfiction book, they're buying the book to solve a problem. And the sooner you can solve the problem, the easier you can make the problem sound, the easier you can make the solution sound, the better. So go with that. We specialize in writing books that are about 20 to 25,000 words. That translates out to about 125, 150 pages, depending on the trim size. It's big enough to look like a representative book, as opposed to like something small and, not really book-like. And is this really a book or a pamphlet? So you want it to look like a book just so it builds your credibility. And you want to work with a good designer, or good templates now, because I'm seeing a lot of good templates that will make you a good designer. So the book looks professional. If the book doesn't look professional, then that, of course, rubs off on you because the book is your big business card. Okay, number 2, how do you incorporate writing into a busy life, working to make ends meet? Okay, again, I have a philosophy here, and I've said this before. If you can spend 15 minutes a day, you can write a book in 3 or 4 months. Simple as that. If you write 500 words a day in 15 minutes, then do the math, and in 60 days you'll have, I can't do math in my head on the computer, but you can do it out loud. That's all it really takes, 15 minutes a day. And frankly, if you can't devote 15 minutes a day, then you're really not serious. And I know you are serious because I've seen your blog. Other people who call me and have 10,000 ideas and talk a mile a minute and can't get focused, I can just tell they are not going to write their books. It's bad. So it's simple. Make it simple. 15 minutes a day. I don't care if it's the beginning of the day. I don't care if it's the end of the day. I don't care if it's during your lunch hour. If you can't find 15 minutes, then you're never going to write the book. Number 4, is an eBook a good marketing tool to grow your business? Yes, it is. I think a print book is better because you can give a print book to people you meet at networking events and cocktail parties and new business meetings, and people respect books. Now, there's nothing wrong with an eBook. You can make money on an eBook. You can offer it as a free tool, as a gimme, as a free gift to me. That's what I meant to say. So, yeah, freemiums and such like that are great, and eBooks are fine like that. But in today's world, it's very easy to go to Amazon and upload your ebook and tell them to also print out, 10 copies, send them to you. That cost you maybe $2.50 a piece, and then give them out at your next prospecting meeting or networking meeting or stuff like that. So one book can serve, or one manuscript can serve 2 purposes. You might need to work with another editor to lay it out properly, but that's part of the business. Okay. Number 5, my business focus is coaching, training, and consulting. How does a book help to promote my business? Okay. The book is, everyone expects you to have a book these days. Simple as that. If you're a speaker, you're never going to get hired unless you have a book, because every other speaker has a book, and meeting planners need to make decisions on who to hire, and they say, oh, do they go to good school? Good school, good school. Do they work with good clients? Both work with good clients. Have they gotten into the media? Yeah, they both gotten good media. Have they written books? So he has and she hasn't. Well, we're going to hire him. Okay, bingo. So it's a way of separating yourself out from other people. Also, for coaching, training, and consulting, how does a book help promote my business? Well, when I work with my clients to write their big business card books, we look for those stories that show you to be the trusted leader who will guide the prospects from their own messes to success. So when I work with my clients, we look at the structure of the book and say, okay, what are the 10 biggest problems your prospects have? What are the problems that you love to solve, that you have experience with, that you're really good at, that really float your boat and really turn you on? And then we gather that information and we write it. Either I write it as the ghost writer, or I coach you through it as your book coach and developmental editor, lead you along that path. But then when you give people a book, it's not about, my manifesto on this or my thoughts about that. It's actually, here's information that shows that I am the trusted guide who can lead you to the promised land, and you should work with me, and here's how we can work together. So that's how I answer that question. Number 6, what are the advantages of using a ghostwriter? Well, a ghostwriter is really good if you don't have the time to do it yourself. Ken Blanchard, who wrote The 1 Minute Manager and 60 other books, told me that he wrote all of his books with another author. He co-wrote books, not ghostwriting, but co-wrote. And I said, why did you do that? You're a smart guy. And he said, I learned from other people. And I found that to be true as well, because I am ghostwriting 2 books now with a doctor, and we finished one. We're starting the other one now. And he doesn't have time to write the book. He's a busy doctor. He's dealing with patients. And I'm a writer, so I can take his thoughts and put them down on paper. And also I can interview him, and he tells me little asides, little anecdotes. I'm saying, oh, my God, these are great. This is gold. And he said, really? So a ghostwriter can give you that outside perspective that you yourself may be lacking, because they see the world a little bit differently than you. So that's another reason for using a ghostwriter. So some people don't have the time to do it themselves, so that's another reason to use a ghostwriter. Number 7, how can you use a book to build your brand? Okay, well, there are many ways. Here's the way I do it. My book is called Write Your Book in a Flash. My website is writeyourbookinaflash.com. My Facebook private group is Write Your Book in a Flash. My YouTube channel is Write Your Book in a Flash. Do you see where I'm going here? The book becomes the brand. So you may want to put your name in the title of the book. That might help you. One of my books was called Dan Janal's Guide to Marketing on the Internet. It was published by John Wiley back in 2000. That was really good for helping me build my brand because my name was attached to the book. Not many people do that, frankly. So it could be a strategy where you really do stand out because your name is part of the title. There are many, many other strategies as well, but that's just one. I'd really have to learn more about what your brand is to offer you more strategies for things like that. Number 8, your last question. What's a reasonable time frame to write a 100 to 150-page book? Well, I told you that before. It's the 15 minutes a day, 500 words a day. Do the math yourself, and you can figure it out. Of course, you're going to get sick on some days, and you're going to have kids and things going on some days that take you away from it. So you build that into the factor. But the key is you do it every day. You really set it up like a habit. I mean, you drink coffee every day. You brush your teeth every day. 15 minutes, you're just doing this, just like you're doing sit-ups or yoga or whatever. It becomes part of your routine, and that's what writers do. So that's a reasonable way to answer the question. When people ask me, write your book in a flash, well, what's a flash? That is a good question. I think a flash is different for different people, have different responsibilities and different child care demands and different lifestyle demands and different elder care demands. And, some people are working full-time and doing this on the sidelines. Some people are totally involved in writing, speaking, coaching, and have all the time in the world to decide whatever they want to do with their time. But still, 3 to 4 months, I think, is totally doable. I know my webmaster wrote a book in a weekend because he had all the information right in the tip of his head, and all he had to do was be disciplined enough to get it down on paper. So I've seen people do everything from a weekend to 3 to 4 months to 3 to 4 years. But if you give yourself a deadline, then I think it really helps if you have an accountability partner like a coach. That really helps. Some of my clients do that with me and use me for that purposes, so that works there. So I hope that helps, Helen. Again, please go to my YouTube channel and you'll find more information. If you'd like to talk to me further, please do send me an email to dan@prleads.com, and I'll be happy to talk with you and anyone else on the call for 15, 20 minutes or so and see if there's a good fit here for me to work with you as your book coach or as your developmental editor or as your ghostwriter. And we'll see what happens. And, if it's a good fit, then fine. If it's not a good fit, then, we'll part as friends. I like to use this analogy that says, whenever if you go to Nordstrom's and buy a pair of shoes and they don't fit right, well, they're not going to fit any better a month later. They're going to be really painful. So painful for the shoe and painful for the coach and painful for the client. And no one wants to be in that kind of situation. So we want to work with a win-win situation. So